Greetings and g'day, this is Andy from Motorcycle Mania, and in today's review I'd like to cover some territory, or some roads that go from Port Augusta up through to Woomera, through to Glendambo, through Coober Pedy, to Cadney Park, to Marla, to Eldunda, and through to Alice Springs and out to Ayers Rock. So we'll talk about all the things that you'll find on the way. Let me just bring this in a little bit closer, and we'll start off at Port Augusta. And Port Augusta is basically at the top of Spencer's Gulf. The Flinders Ranges run down in a line through there. If you're coming into Port Augusta from this direction here, as you enter, there's a Shell on your left and a BP on the right. You'll then go over a salt lake, and then you'll hit the town. Once you go through town, you'll go over a bridge, which is actually Spencer Gulf proper, and then there's a Shell Roadhouse on the right on the way out, either down. You've got to go past the Shell Roadhouse to either go this way over the west or go north, and we'll be talking about north today. Port Augusta is about 14,000 people. There's lots of opportunities for motorcycle friendly places to stay. There's plenty of places to eat. The pubs are pretty good. It's, like I said, a regional centre, 14,000, so there's plenty of stuff going on. There's a motorcycle shop. There's also a Harley specialist motorcycle shop. So if you need some sort of repairs or some sort of help, hopefully you can get it there. There's not much once you go further north or west for quite some time. So let's look at going north. Basically from Port Augusta, the next stretch is about 190 k's, and it heads up towards Woomera. Now, Woomera, you'll actually get to a place called Pimba before you'll get to Woomera. Let's see if it shows it on here. Yeah, it does, okay, as we scroll in. So you can see that Pimba is on the highway. Woomera is a little diversion. Now, is it worth going in? I reckon definitely. Woomera used to be the American rocket range in Australia, and they had a great surveillance set up out there. In fact, as you're travelling up this highway towards Pimba, over on your left around these island lagoons, that's where they used to have these great big golf ball looking constructions, huge big construction. They look like golf balls, where they had their great big radar dishes or early missile detection systems. If you go into Woomera, it's a funny town because it was set up for the US Air Force. It's a tiny town, yet it's got a swimming pool, a bowling alley, a cinema, a whole range of really cool facilities. It is getting a bit long in the tooth now, but one of the cool things that are there is a rocket range museum, and that's open air. It's really cool. Go get your photo taken with the bike up against these rockets and stuff like that. And there's a heap of stuff. It's worth having a look at. So small diversion, but well worth going in. There is accommodation, places to eat in Woomera. Fuel is at Pimba. It's only premium unleaded. And then once you leave that area, there's sort of a lot if you want to poke your nose around and have a look around. Do that. You can see this road here is actually the way up to Roxby Downs and Andamooka. That's about another 80 k's if you're looking to head up that way. Once again, there's accommodation up at Roxby Downs, and of course Olympic Dam will be the mine, BHP's biggest open cut mine in the world once they start work on it. So from Pimba you head through to Glendambo. That's a stretch of about 113 k's. Now, when you go past this lake, you actually go right next to it, and there's a big lookout bay. Well worth a stop if you want to get a photo, because it's a pretty cool. It looks good. It can either be pristine white, as in dry with salt, or it can actually be full of water. The last couple of times I've gone past, it's been full of water, so there's been lots of people stopping. And in the morning, early in the morning, flat, it's like a mirror. Yeah, beautiful. So you head off up to Glendambo. Now, once you get to Glendambo, there's a couple of options there. You've got the old Woody's BP. So BP, you can actually get Ultimate there, or you go the other side of town. Once you get there, I'm talking, there's only not many people there. It's a pretty small town. There's a Mobile and there's a BP. So you please yourself. I've eaten in both of them. They're both okay. I tend to get Ultimate with the bike, so that's where I tend to go. When I do this route on the bike, we usually leave Port Augusta, and then we head up and stay at Cadney Park, the other side of Coober Pedy, sorry, and then go to Alice Springs the next day. And then when we return, we usually come Alice Springs, come down, stay at Coober Pedy, and then Coober Pedy to Glendambo is usually our breakfast stop. So we usually have a big trucker's brekkie at the BP at Glendambo. Now, the thing about this next stretch is that it looks pretty long, and that's because it is. It's about 240. I think it's about 246, 250 k's, and there's nothing in the middle. Absolutely nothing. So you better make sure you can get through there on fuel. If you can't get through on fuel, make sure you take a 5 litre or a couple of litres or something to get you through. I had a trip where I went up on the wide glide, the Harley wide glide, and I took fuel up. I didn't need it. Breezed through there, got up to Alice Springs, so I'd lugged this 5 litres of fuel all the way to Alice Springs. It was sitting on the bike all the way back, and we got to Coober Pedy, and one of my mates' bikes broke down. So we got the bike shipped back, and he jumped on the back of mine. We headed off, and there was a bit of a headwind. Now, I didn't really worry about it, so we gave it a bit of a caning down the road early morning, flogging down the road, and I thought, oh, well, if we run out, it doesn't matter. I've got 5 litres. Anyway, we shooting down the road, hit reserve. He tapped me on the shoulder. I said, don't worry about it. We're right. Next thing, she's gone, 30 k's down the road. She's run over. I said, don't worry about it. I've got 5 litres of fuel. Well, I walked around the back of the bike, and the fuel wasn't there. It had fallen off in that stretch. So I'd lugged it all the way from Port Augusta up to Alice Springs, back, and when I needed it, it wasn't there. Luckily, one of the mates was behind us. He went on to Glendambo and brought us back some fuel. But there you go. You can run out if things happen. Once again, bear in mind you can get some really strong headwinds up there. The country, you go through basic scrub and stuff like that, and then it really pans out into open, rocky, desert-looking country. And as you come to Coober Pedy, you'll start to see from about 50 k's out all the mines, all the open-cut diggings around Coober Pedy. Lots of stuff goes on in Coober Pedy, actually. Very interesting place. It's all underground opal mining, although they're doing a lot of open cut now. But there's little restaurants, Greek restaurants, a really nice places, Tom and Maria's. There's plenty of places to stay. There's hotels, there's underground backpackers, there's motels, there's pubs. There's a whole range of stuff that you can stay at Coober Pedy. There's also tons of tourist-y things that you can do. There's a lot of tours